the ACC, right? They got a lot. They're going to have to play at a much higher level of basketball. So Enfield's always been a good coach. How is he going to recruit as well as he did? You know, a lot of players came to play for the Trojans because, you know, there was a list of A-list celebrities' children, wasn't it, who went to go play for him. So, yeah, we'll see.
Pretty much. Lots of things happening on the college basketball circuit. Kelly Harper fired today by the University of Tennessee women's program after she could not bring that program back to the level of Pat Summitt. I can't imagine that that's an easy job when you know the history of that Tennessee program. But when we look at women's basketball, they're not where they used to be. They used to be in the conversation with Notre Dame and UConn and all those schools, and they're not right now. That's
that age-old question of, like, when Vanderveer, you know, and Oriema and all these Hall of Fame coaches move on, is it the coach or is it the school?
Right.
And sometimes it might take a different, you know, Arizona basketball's, you know, in that same conversation. Sustained success after you've had a program builder without, obviously, my dad was good friends with Coach Snowden. I'm not here to disparage his name. And Lute Olson more or less built Arizona basketball to the national scale that we know it today. When those Hall of Fame coaches leave, has Tennessee basketball had any kind of national relevance since she retired?
Not really.
I didn't think so.
No.
So that's tough. It's tough to replace a legend.
All right, it was a great baseball weekend here, not only in Tucson, but up in the valley and for the entire state on the professional major league side of it.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff! Baseball stuff!
It was the Diamondbacks winning 3 out of 4 in their series against the Colorado Rockies. Quite an impressive weekend for the guys. A lot of big home runs this weekend. Alec Thomas, he hit one.
Alec really likes the ball out over the plate. He can't get the bat to the low inside pitch, but he prefers it out over the plate.
0-1, high fly ball, deep to right field, and out of room is Bryant. It's a 3-run blast.
Just crushed it.
That was the Friday night. The Diamondbacks won the opener on Thursday, 16-1, scoring 14 runs in the third inning of that game. Alec Thomas had the big blast Friday night as the Diamondbacks took the first 2 games of the series. Now, they would lose the game on Saturday, but they would come back yesterday, and Christian Walker would get things going in the very first inning. D-backs already up 1-0.
As the 1-2, that's poked in the air towards left. Pretty well. Jones going back, turning, looking. It's gone. 2-run shot by Walker, second of the season. And the Diamondbacks lead at 3-0.
Christian Walker with a home run. 3-0 was a nice early lead for Brandon Pfaadt, who made the opening day roster this year. The Diamondbacks' top pitching prospect, looking good in his first outing.
Barnhart, a lot of experience, as there's a fastball right down the middle for a strike. He was fooled on the pitch, was Montero, and the inning comes to a close. Infield shaded towards the pull side. As the 3-2 is strike 3 called. That is center cut, and there ain't no argument about that one. 6 strikeouts now for Pfaadt, and 4 of them, Candy, have been looking.
Brandon Pfaadt getting the start. Nice outing. 5 innings, 6 strikeouts, as you heard, allowed a run on 5 hits. D-backs would take a 5-1 lead into the 9th, and they would hand the ball to the Arizona Wildcat, Mr. Kevin Ginkel.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Ginkel throws, and he strikes out McMahon with a border fastball on the outside edge. 2-2, swing and a miss. High fastball got him.
96 miles an hour upstairs. That ball has some ride on it.
Ginkel ready the pitch. Swing and a miss. A high fastball got him. And the ball game is over. Ginkel strikes out 3 in a scoreless 9th inning. And the Diamondbacks take 3 of 4 from the Rockies.
Kevin Ginkel pitched in 2 games this weekend, allowed 2 hits, had the 3 strikeouts, did not pick up a save in either of those ball games just due to the big leads that the Diamondbacks had on the weekends and the games that he appeared. So, but good job by Ginkel at the end of those games. He's probably going to have those save opportunities for this team as we move forward. Diamondbacks take 2 out of 3. We've got more Diamondbacks news to get to. We'll get to that in the 5 o'clock hour. Plus, again, going to tell you about a huge promotion coming up. Dads, if you're a dad, a girl dad, you're going to want to be with us in the 5 o'clock hour to hear about this huge promotion. You might be able to make your daughter one of the happiest daughters on the block. DK is going to tell you how to do that. DK on the sports tip. It is Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. And weather together. Collisions reported, crash reported Irvington and I-19 on Irvington at I-19. Twin Peaks and Sandario and Twin Peaks, and in Oro Valley, Oracle, and Calle Concordia. And for your weather, we do have a chance of showers this afternoon and into this evening. 46 the low, 68 partly cloudy tomorrow, 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. At Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, they'll help you with any air conditioning, drain, or pipe issues. Trust the big guy. Contact Tucson's most respected AC and plumbing experts anytime at coolwillies.com, where they are big enough to help and small enough to care. That's coolwillies.com.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. At least we got one of the best games of the entire weekend. At the very end of the weekend, a couple of real good teams in Texas A&M and Houston. And how do you not love that game? The Cougs up by 12 with just over 2 minutes to go and with a win probability of 99.3%. Next thing you know, the Aggies pour in 17 in the final 2 minutes and they force OT with a buzzer beater at the end of regulation. Unreal shot, unreal finish, classic madness, and a major test for Houston. They survive and advance. That's the type of game that you have to survive and advance, often if you want to get to the Final Four or the Natty. So, does that show their vulnerability or does that show their intense grit? As always, yes. Feel for my guy Buzz, but Kelvin survives and advances. And going forward, it's going to be about the ref show. Will they let them play or not? We'll see. The biggest moments in college basketball are happening right now. Be a part of the action on Prize Picks for both men's and women's college basketball. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with over 3 million active members. It is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries today on Prize Picks. I love Prize Picks. Just download the app right now and use my code ROME, R-O-M-E, for a first deposit match of up to $100. That's code ROME, R-O-M-E on Prize Picks for a deposit match of up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
O'Reilly.
Is your Moore's battery weak or dead after winter storage? Get your Moore ready for spring lawn maintenance at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, purchase any Superstart lawn and garden battery and get a $10 gift card after rebate. Choose Superstart batteries for power, performance, and reliability exclusively at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
It's no contest, Tucson. You're listening to the home of the Arizona Wildcats. That's why 1290 runs this town. This is the one and only home of your Arizona Wildcats.
And you know this, man!
We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Southern Arizona Radiology Associates have been dedicated to providing superior images and quality care for the last 35 years. They're the one you trust when you need an X-ray, CT scan, ultrasound, mammogram, or MRI. They have locations in Tucson, Green Valley, and Sierra Vista. Ask your doctor to refer you to Southern Arizona Radiology Associates today. That's Southern Arizona Radiology Associates. Visit their website at sararadiology.com or call 520-335-6849 for more information.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports. Over in D1 college basketball, 2 tickets were punched yesterday to the women's Final Four. First, it was undefeated South Carolina, who beat Oregon State 70-68 in the Regional 1 final in Albany. This is the Gamecocks' 4th straight Final Four and 6th in program history, all of which have come under head coach Dawn Staley.
I'd said that we shouldn't make it back to the Final Four. Just proud of our team and believing in themselves. They created a certain level of chemistry and culture, and they stuck with it.
South Carolina will face NC State in the national semifinals next Friday. The Wolfpack defeated the Texas Longhorns 76-66 in the Regional 4 final in Portland. A few hours after the Wolfpack women advanced, NC State's men's team beat Duke to also clinch a Final Four berth. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amber Theo Harris on Westwood One.
With Marriott Bonvoy, take your game day rituals on the road. No matter how you show your team spirit, you can find a stay for your style with over 30 hotel brands and thousands of global destinations. Marriott Bonvoy has a brand for every kind of fan. Marriott Bonvoy, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Discover more at marriottbonvoy.com/NCAA.
This March, Wendy's has some amazing deals on their hamburgers made with fresh, never frozen beef.
Like a juicy Dave's single for $1 and a fresh $2 Dave's double with in-app offer.
It's such a good deal, we wrote a little ditty about it.
Get it for $1. Dave's single, order in the app. Dave's single, get it for $1. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's, official hamburger March Madness.
Limited time offer. Participating U.S. Wendy's. See offer details and redeem at Wendy's app. Account registration required. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. and Alaska.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Gobber ready, left-hander kicks, and now he throws. And it's swung on and belted. Out to left field. Jones back at the wall, and it's gone. Another Lourdes home run to begin this season, his 3rd of the year.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. What a start to the season for the 30-year-old Arizona Diamondback outfielder. He is your National League Player of the Week after just 4 games to this season. Gurriel this past weekend went 8 for 17, hit .471. He hit home runs in the first 3 games of the season, 10 RBIs, 2 doubles, 2 walks, 6 runs scored, stole a base, threw a guy out at second base trying to stretch a single into a double, and had a slugging percentage of 1,118 in those 4 games. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. of the Arizona Diamondbacks is your National League Player of the Week. Led the majors in RBIs this past week. Led the majors in total bases with 19. Tied for the major league lead with those 3 home runs and the 5 extra base hits. Finished second among National League batters in batting average at .471. Who hit more than that? And was also second in slugging and OPS at 1,644. A National League All-Star last year, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Gotta like what he's doing in the early portion of this season. Good stuff there as the Diamondbacks win 3 out of 4 from the Rockies, the lowly Rockies, to start the season. Let's hear from the skipper, Torey Lovullo, on this weekend that was for his team.
There were some things that we can improve upon. We didn't play perfect baseball. We missed a couple of opportunities with situational hitting. We didn't advance runners via a bunt. Maybe some pitch sequencing needs to improve. But we won a series, and the Rockies are a very dangerous team. They're trying to make statements themselves and come back from their year last year. They had a hot spring. They were a very good team this spring training. And I was just proud of the way we took care of our business. We won a series. That's what we aim to do. I really couldn't be more pleased with all the little things that we did, and they far outweighed the improvements that we need to make. And you're right, Gurriel charging the ball full speed, throwing off balance, and knocking down a big base runner was great. The infielders played their butts off. They were moving fast. They were playing fast. They were executing fast. And that shows up. Outfielders running everything down. We did get some quality pitching. I know there was a couple hiccups yesterday, but we're not going to play a perfect game every single day. And I was very pleased with the little things that we did.
So there you go. And guess who's coming to dinner? The Evil Empire is here for the next 3 games. That would be none other than the New York Yankees. So the Yankees come to town. They'll play tonight at Chase Field. 6:40 will be first pitch. It'll be Ryan Nelson on the hill for the Diamondbacks. He's the number 5 starter, so he'll get his first start against Luis Gil for the Yankees. The Yankees, of course, now have one Alex Verdugo in their lineup out of Saguaro High School. Doogie started his career with the Dodgers and then was traded to the Boston Red Sox, where he played for a couple of seasons, and now he is in the outfield for Aaron Boone and the New York Yankees, playing alongside the likes of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. It's a pretty good young nucleus. Doogie, though, off to a little bit of a slow start in the first 4 games, all of which, again, the Yankees swept the Astros. So they have 2 back-to-back series does New York have against teams that were in the playoffs last year. They swept the Astros. Doogie, though, 3 of 15 in that series with just a walk and 1 RBI. So trying to get his feet wet in his first season in the Bronx is Alex Verdugo, but Verdugo back home this week here in his home state of Arizona. Should be fun to watch. 520-848-1290. Headed up to the games this week. Headed up to see the Diamondbacks. Headed up to see the Yankees. I know there's a lot of Yankee fans here in Southern Arizona. Give us your thoughts on what you hope to see from your clubs this week.
Too many
Yankees fans? Yeah, there's too many Yankees fans everywhere.
Like I've told you in the past, I lived with 4 or 5 guys from New Jersey, New York when I was on campus at the U of A, and they were all Yankee fans. But this was before their mid to late 90s stretch. They were running off of their stuff they had done in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and that was before. So I know, Yankees fans, and I mean this as lovingly as possible, have always been insufferable, DK, because of the success. I mean, it's the same as Lakers fans in many ways. I love 9th generation Yankee fans because you can trace it back to your great-great-grandfather, being at, what was it, the Polo Grounds?
Right.
Yeah. So, if you go way, way back, but if you've got a crisp, brand new Yankee bill to go with your Laker jersey and your Steph hat and all the other modern successful teams type of thing, but these guys are not that. So, I know a lot of people moved here for the warmer weather and brought their Yankee affiliations with them. So, come on, the more the merrier as far as I'm concerned. I just like to poke fun because Yankees fans deserve it.
We are at the half of the women's national or the Elite 8 in Albany, New York. It is all tied up at 45 between 3rd seed LSU and number 1 seed Iowa. We mentioned Angel Reese, 13 points, 8 rebounds in the first half. Caitlin Clark, 19 points. She's broken another record tonight. I believe it was made 3-pointers.
Career.
In the NCAA career, in the NCAA tournament for her career. Breaking who had that was Diana Taurasi, if I'm not mistaken, had that
The
mark?
one and only, yes.
Yep, Diana Taurasi. She's 3 for 8 from 3 in the game, 7 of 13 from the floor. 19 points to lead all scorers is Caitlin Clark, 45-45 in that ball game. And still to come tonight, UConn and Southern California. Paige Buckets.
You know what's
versus
funny?
Juju Watkins.
Between the three of them.
Do you like that nickname? You like when they put Buckets on the name of on the last stand?
I mean, if it fits. The funny thing about those three players, and I'm not including Angel Reese because she plays a different position.
Right.
Okay, but those are all shooting guards. Juju is shooting 37% in the NCAA tournament.
Overall.
Wow. 37% from the field in the NCAA tournament. Caitlin Clark is, last I checked, about 44%. Paige Buckets in the NCAA tournament, DK, is shooting 54%.
Wow. So, Gino said she's the best player.
I mean, it's just a volume thing. Clearly, you can't take anything away from any of the records that Caitlin Clark has broken. Paige, used to get those headlines before Caitlin Clark did, before the injury, before Aerie happened to her, because that was pretty famous defeat by the Huskies, right? But, she was the number one recruit coming out, and it's like you don't lose your starting position to injury. You can't really stop talking about Paige Buckers just because Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and now Juju Watkins have started to take more of the headlines away. She's maybe the forgotten woman, but she's still as great as she ever was.
Always enjoy watching those young ladies play, and especially the ones that have battled back from injury. How about just watching up on TV right now? How about that whole 3-point line
It's
thing?
so dumb.
How does that even happen?
I got the stats here. Well, I'll tell you how it happened. There's a guy whose job it is to poke a hole 9 inches away from the top of the key.
Right.
And then they have a machine that measures the arc of the 3-point line around that, and they poked the hole 9 inches wrong on one side of the court. But the dumb thing is, DK, they played 4 complete games on this court before they figured out the problem. And then halfway through the game, I think it was Baylor, was it?
Yeah.
USC Baylor?
Right.
Halfway through, they just decided they would keep playing. But here's some fun stats for you. The teams that shot on that court shot better from the regulation line than they did from the shorter line. So one of the 3-point lines, if you're not familiar with the story, is shorter by 9 inches than the other side of the court. But the teams have to flip sides. So the coaches and everybody decided to keep playing. But USC, for instance, Baylor went 3 for 12 from the wrongly marked and 6 for 14. The Wolfpack were 11 for 19 from the correct line and 5 for 16 from the shorter line. They shot better because that muscle memory thing of knowing where the line is without having to look down at your feet.
Right.
They shot better from the line that was correctly measured than the one that was 9 inches closer to the basket.
How about NC State? Both their women and their men in the Final Four.
So good.
The men. That's an unbelievable story. And I think we can probably just stop having the conversation about how you're playing at the end of the season because it just simply doesn't matter. They lost 7 of their last 9 games in the regular season. And then they won 5 days in a row. Like, how many tournaments? I totally forgot that the ACC, like, if you're at the bottom of the barrel there, you got to, we bark about having to win 4 games in a row at the Pac-12. They had to win 5 days in a row. Imagine that. 5 games in a row in 5 days. And now they've not lost, and they haven't lost since. They won 9 games in a row after losing 7 of their last 9 in the regular season to get to the Final Four.
There's a great stat that came out of this all, which is that North Carolina State is currently 26-14 on the season. 26-14 on the season.
Yeah.
Okay. However, they have won 5 plus 4, so that's 9 games.
9 in a row.
9 of those wins have come in the postseason. So, if you want to do some quick math there, they were 15-14 in the regular season and 9-0 in the postseason. 1/3 of their total victories all year long have come in the postseason.
Yeah. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Another crazy stat about the Wolfpack, they've just tied at 41. This next game they play at 41 will be the most ever games played in a season.
Wow.
There's 2 other teams that have played a total of 41. So if somehow the Wolfpack gets past Purdue, they will play their 42nd game of the season, setting an all-time new record for most games played.
Oh, for most games by one team.
You just mentioned it. 5. They had to play 5 games in their postseason tournament to get to their final because they didn't get a bye. So this would set a record where they make the championship game. Just make the championship game. It would set a record for most games ever played in a season. Wow. Currently, they've played 40, 26-14. One more is 41. That ties the record. I think it was Purdue. I can't think of the third team. Only 2 other teams have played 41.
Yeah.
So
first time in the Final Four since the Jimmy V 1983 team. I think they made a 30 for 30 about them. Well,
my favorite about that is like he didn't when he was running around looking for somebody to hug. It's my favorite moment. I love that. Like he's like so shocked. Was it Brad? What was the guy's name who dunked it in at the end?
Oh,
Bradbury or something. To that effect.
Charles something.
That's right. Yeah, Charles. Anyway. It was like a 25-footer that was an air ball that was dunked in at the buzzer for the win for the Wolfpack, and they were not. I think they were, I don't remember the seed that they were at the time, DK, but this is before. Anyway, they won the title. They were the 40th team picked to win that year as the title, and Jimmy V running around trying to find somebody to hug.
Lorenzo Charles.
Yeah. Not knowing what to do or what had just happened. It's like one of my favorite moments in sports.
I mean, it is. It's an unbelievable because, and what's funny because everybody was I think at least I don't know like you're a little bit younger so I don't know what your memory of all that was, but everybody that I remember wanted Houston to win was rooting for Phi Slamma Jamma.
Sure,
exactly. Yeah. Nobody wanted, none of my friends wanted to see North Carolina State win that game. But it is one of the great memories. My wife and I were watching last night. We watched the I Hate Christian Laettner.
Right.
30 for 30. And, it kind of just recaps everything that came after that in terms of the rise of Duke and his career. And Bobby Hurley's a big part of that, the head coach at Arizona State, obviously, and the relationships on that team. And
I saw him twice.
You saw Laettner play twice?
I saw all of them play McHale twice because they had a 4-year home and home.
Yeah,
so they came twice. Yeah, I saw both those games.
Wow. Yeah, that's just just the memories of all of that. Being in college during that time and those games that they played. Losing to UNLV by 30 and then coming back and beating them. Just all kinds of great memories around college basketball during the time, for me at least, that I was in college during those years. All right, we're way over, so let's get to cricket because we want to make sure we get you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions that are clearing Irvington and I-19 on Irvington at I-19, Oro Valley, Oracle, and Calle Concordia. Also collision, Twin Peaks and Sandario and Twin Peaks. There's a chance of rain this afternoon and into this evening, 46 the overnight low, 68 partly cloudy tomorrow, and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by NexGuard Plus. NexGuard Plus, Afoxalon or Moxidectin and Pyrantel chewable tablets, is the one you want for your dog's monthly protection. Use with caution in dogs with a history of seizures or neurologic disorders. Ask your veterinarian about NexGuard Plus Chews today.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Winner! This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot. Best price, biggest inventory.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats basketball radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Most financial advisors I know have had a moment in their career where they thought, with more control, I would do things differently for my clients' sake. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth Management, and our firm was created by advisors with the understanding that we need flexibility, control, and decision-making power to create the best experience for our clients. If you're an advisor interested in learning more about our growing firm, call me at 719-1433 to talk more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
El Rio Vecinos are gearing up to take you on another global adventure for their 2024 block party. London is calling on April 6th at Plaza Palomino, where guests will enjoy dozens of food and beverage partners, dancing, entertainment, and more. Your support will help fund the El Rio Cancer Prevention and Treatment Fund. Mark your calendar for the El Rio Vecinos Block Party, April 6th from 7 to 11 p.m. Tickets available at elriovecinos.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Champ's Kitchen and Bar has grand opening bracket buster specials all month long, including $5 pizzas, $5 burgers, and $5 pitchers, and more. Champ's Kitchen and Bar at 7625 North La Cholla Boulevard. Cheers to good times, great food, and even better deals at Champ's Kitchen and Bar.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program. 520-848-1290. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Josh Doan was back in Tucson, I believe. I'm sorry. No, he was not. I'm looking at the wrong box score here. The Roadrunners played a couple of games over the weekend against the San Diego Gulls, and they now are going to embark on a 3-game road trip. Will the Roadrunners? They have already clinched a spot in the playoffs as of last week as they come down the end of their regular season. So 3 road games, and then they'll be back home next weekend, will the Roadrunners. So still plenty of time to get out and see some hockey out at Tucson Arena for this Roadrunners team this season as we, let's see, there's only about 10 games left to go, I think. As we hit April, actually, there are 8 games left to go. 4 here at home, next weekend against Colorado, and then the following weekend against San Jose before we get into postseason hockey. We'll get with the Roadrunners this week and get caught up on them. Also, this weekend, the Tucson Sugar Skulls played their first game of the season. It was a road game as they begin, I believe this is season number 6, if I'm not mistaken, here in southern Arizona. The Sugar Skulls got back to the postseason last year, but still can't seem to beat their cousins to the north, the Northern Arizona Wranglers. The Wranglers get the win this past weekend by a score of 54-48. One more road game for Tucson. They'll play this coming Saturday over at Duke City in Albuquerque and then return home on Sunday, April the 14th for the first home game of the year, and that'll be against the Bay Area Panthers. So still a couple of weeks away from indoor football at the Tucson Arena, but the season is here and looking forward to another outstanding year of that. Now, I told you at the top of the show, dads, if you're a girl dad, listen up, because I've got your chance maybe to be the girl dad of the year. We've got a chance for you to win one of 3 trips to see Taylor Swift on the Eras Tour this fall. All right? There will be 3 grand prize winners who each receive round-trip air for 2, 2-night hotel stay, 2 tickets to Taylor Swift's concert. Winner number 1 is going to win a trip to Indianapolis to see the concert in November. Winners number 2 and 3 are going to get a trip to New Orleans to see the concert in October. I think I would want to be winners 2 or 3. I'd rather go to New Orleans, I think, than to Indianapolis. Also, because you know we like to give away cash, $500 in cash for a chance to win. You got to listen to Wildcats Radio 1290 weekdays. We're giving out a text word to win. We give one out at some point between 6 and 9. We give another one out at some point between 9 and 12. We give another one out between 12 and 3, and we give another one out between 3 and 7. All right? Head on over to WildcatsRadio1290.com. We've got all the details on this Taylor Swift opportunity to win one of 3 trips to see the Eras Tour this fall. One of those trips is in Indianapolis. 2 of those trips are to New Orleans. Round trip airfare for 2, 2-night hotel stay, $500 in cash. Your daughter will love you guys. So get on in. In fact, JW, you got to help me on this because I forgot to write down the keyword for right now. So if you could go back and look that up for me, the 327 keyword, so I can give that out, or you can give it out once you know what it is, to the people right now. Although, here, because I think I got to give out the text number to win. See, I'm so unprepared for this right now because I thought I wrote everything down and I didn't. So we're going to give you a text number to call. It's not like a real phone number. It's a text number. And so you'll text our keyword to that number. Okay, so here I'm going to give you right now the keyword, and then I'll give you the number to text. The keyword right now, gentlemen, ladies out there, if you're listening for your daughter, ladies too, if you're a girl mom, don't want to, not call out the girl moms as well. Willow right now is your key word. All right, that's your keyword at the moment. So this is the word you're going to text to the number that I'm about to give you right now. It's a short code number, all right? So text Willow right now to 95819. Willow to 95819. And that will give you an opportunity to have a chance to get involved in this trip to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour this fall. Now, J-Dub, how much are you down with Tay-Tay?
Not so much me. I would say 0. On a scale of 1 to 100, 0.
All right, so you have no. It's like I'm going through these keywords. We've had 4 of them already today. Some of them I get, some of them I don't know. Like Willow, I have no idea what that means. Like, what do you have any idea what Willow, what the connection is?
I don't, but I do know that all of her albums are from. That's where the Eras tour is.
Right.
Is all the albums are based on events of her life and eras that she went through and all that. So for all I know, it's a something that means a lot to her. I'm sure people listening know. But like I said, probably 0 out of 100.
So if you know, in fact, what is the significance of Willow in the Taylor Swift Dome? Call us up right now, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Don't give it to me. I want to see if anybody
I think it's just a very obvious answer that we both probably should have figured out.
Probably. But we'll let somebody that has knowledge of that tell us. So our 4 keywords today, but you can't do the other ones because the time has passed on those. The first one was Taylor. The other one was era. That's pretty evident. The third one was me. And now for this next hour and a half, the keyword is Willow. Willow. So text Willow to 95819, and you've got a chance to get involved on this contest. We're going to have 4 keywords a day, every day, except for the weekends, Monday through Friday, for the next, through May 10th. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So we'll have a total of, what's my math on that? 35?
Yep, 5 days a week for 6 weeks is 30.
30 keywords. Well, actually, it'll be more than that because we're giving away 4 a week. So whatever that is, there's going to be a lot. 120 keywords over the course of, but some of them will be the same. Like some of these keywords will repeat as we go on over the course of this 6 weeks. So there you go. You have till May 10th to get involved on this and have a chance to win this fabulous opportunity to take your daughter or your girlfriend to, because I know there are a lot of, ladies in their 20s and 30s who are huge, huge Taylor Swift fans. So all of you have an opportunity to see this tour.
There's probably a lot of single men as well. I'm sure like every single demographic, because she's quite popular if you didn't know.
She is very, very popular indeed. All right. Some sad news to report to you from this past weekend. Heath Bray, a tremendous Arizona Wildcat football alum, passed away over the weekend up in Phoenix as a result of a massive heart attack. And I didn't personally get to really know Heath Bray. I believe I maybe talked to him one time on the phone. Never really got to meet him in person. I may have met him in person, just kind of a short introduction type situation, but never really had an extensive conversation with him. A brief interview, I think, a number of years ago for a project, but just a tremendous Wildcat who, I was talking to Anthony Gimino a little bit about this earlier today, and the one thing that he said to me, it was very interesting. We had Anthony on the show this past Friday, and I wanted to try to get him back on today, but he had a business with his father, and he said that whenever someone would die from that era of Arizona football, he said the guy you would always call would be Heath. You would always call Heath to get a comment, to find out the story with that player. And now Heath is gone, and it's a tremendously sad story. If you knew Heath, we'll open up the program for the rest of the program, and we'll continue to talk about Heath as we go along this week, and we'll get some memories from some of his former teammates as well. But if you knew Heath and you want to say a few words about him, you can do so. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Played some quarterback here at the University of Arizona back in the 1980s. His son was a very good quarterback at Saguaro High School up in Scottsdale. And so the Bray family, just condolences out to the Bray family on the loss of one tremendous Wildcat for sure in Heath Bray this past weekend, gone much too soon. We definitely send our thoughts and prayers out to the family as they cope with this difficult time. Again, 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get on the program. Coming up in our final segment, we're going to hear from Dwayne Aquina. Spring practice wrapped up last week, and the first week of spring practice, Arizona was on the field Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Dwayne Aquina talked after the Saturday workout. We'll hear from him what he had to say about his charges. He's now the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Wildcats, and we'll hear his thoughts on the completion of Week 1 for this program now under the tutelage of Brent Brennan. It's DK on the Sports Tip. JW Nan is here. Cricket gets you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. New collision at Harrison and Golf Links. Golf Links and Harrison for a crash. And road work on the east side along Old Spanish Trail between Broadway and Harrison through the end of April. So there's a chance of some showers into the evening. 46 our overnight low. 68 partly cloudy tomorrow and 54 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
We don't have time enough to tell you the 100 reasons why you should shop at O'Reilly Chevrolet during our 100-year anniversary celebration, because this is a really short commercial.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
This report is sponsored by eBay Motors. eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You want to protect her. You'll give anything to make sure nothing harms her. Every minute together makes unforgettable memories. Except that time you parked her under that tree and...
Oh, come on, man. Really?
Sorry, we'll never speak of it again. But remember who came to her rescue? Recon Auto Detailing. Arizona's premier auto detailing company comes directly to you. We'll make your masterpiece shine like it should, and with a monthly maintenance package, we'll keep it that way. Recon Auto Detailing. Online at recondetail.com.
Tired of dry, itchy skin? Have mineral buildup at every faucet. Ram Plumbing's affordable, green, eco-friendly water softener and alkalized purification systems are built right here in our great state of Arizona and use a fraction of the wastewater as their competitors. Want soft water, non-chlorinated, or the best alkalized drinking water? You can trust Ram Plumbing to be your one-stop shop. Ask about their Water Taste Challenge. 40th year anniversary savings, up to $500 off water systems and $40 off any service. If your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double.
At Goldberg and Osborne, we fight. We fight for accident victims, injured workers, abused seniors, those harmed by dogs, negligence, or malpractice. We fight the government and big corporations. And most importantly, we fight the insurance companies. We've been fighting for Arizonans since 1989. We go to court, we fight, and we win. Call Goldberg and Osborne and let the Eagle fight for you. Now accepting work injury cases.
If you're a do-it-yourselfer looking for quality car parts in Tucson, look no further. Advance Auto Parts has 6 Tucson locations with over 75 years in business. Advance Auto Parts is the largest car parts retailer in the U.S., and customers know they can trust their products, like Die-Hard batteries. Now with free installation, only found at Advance Auto Parts stores. Take advantage of our same-day delivery and pickup. Just visit our website at stores.advanceautoparts.com and make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Advance Auto Parts, for all your car repair needs. Now a proud radio sponsor of the University of Arizona Wildcats.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in Southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Getting your biggest tax refund from Jackson Hewitt can lead to some spirited reactions.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Jackson Hewitt is so sure they'll get you your biggest refund that if they don't, you get your money back plus $100.
Jackson Hewitt, yeah!
Switch to Jackson Hewitt and we'll beat what you paid last year, even if you filed online.
Yeah!
Ain't Ain't nothing to it. Switch to Jackson Hewitt and pay less for tax prep, guaranteed. Proof of prior year payment required when filing. New clients only at participating locations through April 7th. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Are you someone who tries to drive while distracted by your phone? Someone who props it on the steering wheel or peeks down at it for a glance? Or just scrolls and scrolls? If so, you could be the next person to get into a fender bender, get a ticket, veer off the road, or even cause a crash that kills you or someone else. Enough already. Put the phone away or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
You know it. Your neighbors know it. And let's face it, the mailman knows it too. Your yard just isn't what it used to be. But thankfully, Dorado Rock Materials can get you, well, your yard anyway, back to what it once was, and even better. Dorado Rock Materials has just what your yard needs, from decorative rock to boulders and everything in between, brought right to you. And if you need help spreading it, we can help with that too. Dorado Rock Materials. The right service, the right product, the right price.
Champs Kitchen and Bar is the new go-to spot for sports and fun here in Tucson. Come on out and see your bracket get busted all month long and celebrate with Champs at their newest location. In fact, we're going to be there on Friday. I'm not going to the Final Four, but I am going to Champs on Friday. DK on the Sports Tip will be on hand, so come on out between 3 and 6 and watch all kinds of college basketball. Well, I'm sure there'll be some games on that day. The women's Final Four will be on Friday, so we can watch that. It'll be their grand opening. They're running $5 Madness specials through next Monday. These are slam dunk deals. You don't want to miss them. I've been talking about them for the last week and a half. $5 pizzas, $5 burgers, $5 pitchers, folks. You cannot beat a $5 pitcher. So whether you're a fan of the game, just looking for a good time, grab your friends, try the new MVP of sports bars in Tucson. The real MVP is Champs Kitchen and Bar, 7625 North La Cholla Boulevard at the old Foothills Mall here in Tucson. Opened daily at 11 a.m., Sundays at 10 a.m. Open, your place to be for March Madness. And again, we'll be there on Friday.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Willow was a song sung by Miss Taylor Swift. That is your key word right now to get in on the Taylor Swift ticket opportunity to send yourself and your girlfriend and you and your daughter to a show to see one Miss Taylor in either Indianapolis or New Orleans this fall, the Eras Tour. So text right now, Willow, to 95819 for your chance to get in on this exciting contest. You'll have through May 10th. There'll be 4 new keywords every day. All right, update. Iowa has taken over. This game was tied at the half, 45-45, but the Hawkeyes have outscored LSU 18-7 to start the third quarter, and the Hawkeyes lead 63-52 over the defending champion LSU Tigers with about 3 minutes to go in the third quarter of this first Elite Eight game of the evening. The second one will be between Southern California and the University of Connecticut. All right, let's hear some. Let's talk some U of A football here. How about that?
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
It's time to go to school with the defensive coordinator of the Arizona Wildcats, Dwayne Aquina, who spoke after the conclusion of spring practice number 3 on Saturday. And Dwayne was asked, has anything really changed with this defense from this year to last year?
We're probably a little more aggressive with the front. The secondary, we've added a coverage. That was kind of the guts of us when I was at Texas and Stanford. Because when I got here, I just told Johnny, hey, let me just see how you're matching, how we're canceling gats up front, and then I'll work our way through it. So we're probably canceling gaps a little bit differently, being more vertical, get upfield. I'm kind of wired a little more aggressive. So we're let's just say we're playing the run on the way to the quarterback rather than sitting on the line of scrimmage, maybe you could say. So that may be a little bit of a change. And we may add it maybe a twist or two up front. But that would be the biggest thing. The secondary stuff is going to be consistent. And then we'll probably, as time goes on, we'll be able to add a few more things because we're blessed that we have incredible IQs. I mean, not good IQs on the back end. Gunnar Maldonado, Trayden Stukes, get used to the name. Nationally, you need to get used to the name. I've been around a lot of really outstanding defensive backs. Dalton is the same way, that you can just do a lot of stuff because they're concept learners. They're not memory learners. Manu is the same way. So that way we're moving. I always talk about you come across, you get your degree over there, you cross the street, you're going to get a degree in defensive back play or football. It starts out at 101, it gets 201, 301. I got Ethan Bonner sent me a beautiful note from the Dolphins. He just said, I just appreciate you just teaching us the mental game, because he found out early he's further ahead of a lot of the guys that are in the room. He said, Coach, I'm now working on my master's. It was just a beautiful note. But that's the biggest thing.
When you have continuity like that in the secondary, how much easier does that make it?
It's huge. Yeah, because a year ago when I was talking about some of this language, I don't know if you've been out there, but I'm so big on communication and all, and basketball, screen right, screen left. So now the language, they're understanding the language and they're understanding the reasons why. I teach from an offensive side of the ball, being a quarterback, offensive coordinator. So I teach a lot of offensive theory. So now they're starting to understand how the defenses are built. Don't just learn your position. Learn how the structure of the defense is built, what they're doing and why. So we meet together quite a bit. The back seven, the linebackers, the secondary. I did that last year quite a bit. And then we kind of would separate and linebackers can get into the run game. So, just having continuity. And that's one reason why I chose to stay, I enjoyed running with Bobo and Gunnar and Dalton and Stukes. And, Ify, we were hopeful because then they were all coming back, and Manu and Flo and the two young black backers, Tay, was a big reason why I chose to come back, because just being part of them.
When you brought up your offensive background, I learned out there that you were the backup quarterback to Warren Moon.
Correct. So, oh, man. Well, I would say this. So I was in Don James' first recruiting class. So I was being recruited by Jim Owens. So at that time, the University of Washington was one of the first teams that really threw the ball all over the yard. So it was Washington, Cal, and BYU. BYU just started out with Lavelle Edwards starting to throw. So that's what I was. So I'm proud to say, first kid out of Hawaii that got recruited by the UW. So when Don James came, he continued to recruit. So when I signed, Warren was in there with me. We were in the same recruiting class. So I always say to take some of the sting out of it. So I was his backup. So, it takes some of the sting out of it when the guy that beat you out is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And if you start off with his years up in Canada, all-time leading thrower in the history of professional football, when you take his years until he got in there. So it was great. We were roommates, good guy. Threw the prettiest ball I've seen until I saw Troy Aikman throw some, but it was just always. And in the day, in the horseshoe, the lakeside was open-ended. So there was a wind coming through there. Warren, it was no problem. He'd cut the wind. It was just. Myself, boy, when they had that thing ended up in the second deck. Now that wind would catch it. So good guy, great player, learned a lot.
As roommates, what did you guys do off the field?
For me, we just kind of hung out. My friends, because he was 1 year ahead of me. So he came out of junior college. I came out of high school. So we were kind of separate groups that we ran with. But, we were good friends and all of that. But in terms of just running when we were off, he had his group, I had mine.
And then defensive line has been a unit of concern.
Yeah.
Where is that group at right now?
We're really really optimistic, because you're correct. We lost a lot of major pieces, okay? But Bill Norton come back, has been stable for us. But now the guys, Chuba and Isaiah and Keanu, they have been pleasant surprises for us. And then some of the pieces that we got, Trey, and even Deuce Lane. I mean, it's much like when I got here with Gunner. You know, when a new staff comes in, there's some players that maybe were viewed maybe not as positive by some, okay? It's a fresh beginning. It's a fresh start, and that's what I shared with all of them. There's new coaches. It's a fresh start. So they've been excellent on that. And I'll tell you, Josie Omalo's done a great job, and Danny Gonzalez has been a great add with us. RC is going to be an outstanding young coach. That's why he is where he is. We're going to have to battle like heck to keep him. You know, he reminds me of, well, Brennan. You know, I've had some great GAs over the year. David Phipp, who's considered the #1 special teams coach right now in the NFL, GA'd for me. You know, him and Brett were the GAs. And Ephraim Banda, I can throw a list at you of guys, and that's where RC and Ty Nichols and Teddy Bolin, all these guys are outstanding coaches. I'm really encouraged with our defensive staff.
How do you size up the battle at that middle linebacker spot, or the spot next to line?
Well, it's going to be do it right. You know, Manu is, what we do with Manu is he'll learn both positions. Because I never like being tied into a depth chart. So if you notice, I just like playing the next best player. And we had to go through a couple options in the Oklahoma game. The Oklahoma game was a lot of fun for me. And I shared that with our staff and our players. Because now it's two great football teams. I always say, you guys have probably heard me say it, when you start playing for championships or at that level, athletic ability starts canceling each other out. So now it's the technician who understands the game, who's prepared for the game. We are also competing against another great coaching staff. I know all those guys from years going by. Plus, that's a big game for me now. That Oklahoma game was, for 14 years, was you kept your job or not, depending on that game. So all the counters, you know, because they see what we're doing, now they make an adjustment. We see it, we have to make an adjustment. And so as you saw at the end of the game, we had to get Stooks out to the corner position once we lost Bobo. You know, we tried a couple other pieces, and it wasn't quite working out. So now, you know, I had to get Stooks out there, you know. But then on the inside fade, because number 12, the slot, was a major player in that. That's where the balls were going. So now we always wanted to keep Stooks on 12. So in man coverage, he went inside. If it was outside, you know, so it was a fun game to work. But I didn't get tied into the depth chart. I played the next best player. And that's where a guy like Stooks, it's a hidden value. He can play all 8 positions on the field. Because the trick on that, I've had guys in the past that could learn all 8, but physically they can't play corner. You know, some of the safeties. I've had some of the corners that physically can play all 8, but they can't learn them all. There's been very few. Michael Huff, Justin Reed, Trey Stooks can play and learn all 6 positions, all 8 positions.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, that was just a little bit from Dwayne Aquina after practice on Saturday. Arizona Wildcats will be back on the field tomorrow for practice number 4. Practices this week, Tuesday and Thursday at 3:45, and then Sunday at 10:15. Now, tomorrow, actually, they'll be at the stadium because of the rain today. They did send out an announcement earlier that practice will be over at the stadium tomorrow. So just check to make sure before you head over there. Sometimes when they make the move over there, they may at times close things down due to seating and that kind of thing, or logistics. So just double check with athletics if you're headed out, or we're planning to head out tomorrow, and we'll try to get that information for you up as well to make sure that practice will still be open to the public as we get into week 2 of spring football. We'll hear from Dino Babers tomorrow, man. Some great comments from Dino on his quarterback, what he thinks of his new quarterback, Noah Fafita. Some very strong comments from Dino Babers. And Dino, as we've seen so far, is very choice with his words. So If you get something good from Dino in that respect, you know he actually means it, because he doesn't say a whole lot about things that he doesn't to have a true meaning for. So we'll hear from Dino Babers coming up tomorrow. That's going to wrap up our show for today. Thanks to our guest, Kim Das. Thanks to Cricket. Thanks to J-Dub. Most of all, thanks to you for listening. My name is David Kelly. It's DK on the Sports Tip. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Monday evening.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. With collisions reported, Harrison and Golf Links in Harrison, Tankerverde and Houghton, also Wetmore and First Avenue. That collision might be off on private property. Fort Lowell and Alvernon reports of a brush fire. Expect fire crews responding. Chance of showers into this evening. 46 our overnight low, 68 partly cloudy tomorrow, and a 53 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Offer ends 4/6. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through April 23rd, get a $15 gift card when you buy 5 or more quarts of Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
Starting with one store in 1978, Boot Barn has become the largest Western and workwear retailer in the nation. Supporting those who feed, build, and protect America, we offer the largest selection of cowboy boots,